All right, guys, welcome to Dig It RC. We're adding another addition to our fleet, something I'm pretty excited about, hoping it'll be real useful. So let's get into it and see what we got. Got a radio. Woohoo, yeah. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it was. That's good. Got a few goodies. Looks like I got some track pieces in there. Of course, my bottle for my fluid. Just pop that open real quick. Yeah, a couple spare track pieces. That's nice. Radio cord. And just the bottle, so not much. I like that they sent the extra track pieces. That's nice. All right, there she is. Cool. I'm pretty excited about this one. I've been wanting a track loader for a while, but I had to save up for it. So, then I was deciding which one I wanted to go with. All right. Be excited to see how well this operates. So there's a couple different options out there. I like this one for the ripper option on it that it's got, but also it's got nice deep treads on the track. So I thought that would probably come in pretty handy for digging into the ground, getting traction. So yeah, so I decided to go with the JDM model. So hoping it's a good model. So I don't have a whole lot of JDM stuff except for my excavator, my 4200 XL. But let's take a close look at this thing real quick. Oh yeah, that looks pretty nice. So far, good looking model. So you see the latch is actually latch, and they're kind of spring loaded too. So let's see, door only opens so far. It's the rail right there. But it opens. I need that for getting my guys in and out. So we'll have to hook up our cylinder for our bucket. Nice little step there. Nice, it's got little ridge details in it too. I like that. So, but the tracks look really nice. The drives. The tracks look really nice. Wheels, I see brass in here. I like that. So I'm hoping the drives are better than the ones in the DXR2 dozer. I'm hoping it's a better gear reduction system in there. But look at this. Check that out. So it's got this metal piece right here. Kind of kicks in. That'll help keep it dirt out of there from the looks of it. Yeah, this track system is looking a lot nicer than the track system on the DXR2 so far. So I worry a little bit about this right here. Might get a little bit of material dropping down in there. We'll see what happens. Oh, look at this step too. That is really nice. Look at that. Really good detail in there on that. I like that. Very cool. Spring, the tension's very strong on it. So you can see it give a little bit right here. But it's nice and stiff. I like that. The other side, everything looking good over here as well. Yeah. That looks pretty good. I like it. And check this out. So we'll get this one open up here. And same thing with that one. But look at that little interior in there. That looks like that's made out of metal in there. Well, that's pretty cool. They're getting better on their 3D printing. It's much smoother. It almost looks like molded. Molded plastic, you can see through the windshield. There's not the mold lines that you get. I don't know what you would call them when you're 3D printing. You get those lines, and if you don't sand them out, you can tell it's 3D printed. But that interior looks really nice. I like that. Get rid of that cardboard so I can get around to these exterior doors. Check that out. So you see that handle? Let's see if you can see the latch. Moves that latch. That's fantastic. I like that a lot. You can see inside, I see our soundboard is there. Our ESC switches I see are on top of our receiver. Ooh, fantastic. Yeah. So, well, oh yeah. Nice. Look at the detail. Look at that. That grating. I mean, you can see through it. Look at that. That is really nice. Wow. I like real ventilation. These things do get to cooking. Look at the little stair detail on there too, or step detail. The rippers look pretty aggressive. They look like big teeth off of excavator. So they got nice sharp ripping teeth there. So they should really dig in. By the time those get down to the ground, we should get probably, I would say roughly, good inch and a half worth of dig on those. That'll be really handy, especially if this thing has enough weight. We'll get a weight on it here in a little bit, but if we get enough weight on that thing. Okay, and I think the cab felt a little loose. Yeah. So let's see. I think the cab might move forward here. Let's see, because it's hinged right here. Just don't want to break nothing. There it is. Just pull it so it clips right down there. Look how that cab just tilts forward. Nice. Let's see if it's gonna take a chance of. Nope, looks like it stops. So they got the stops. That's the stops built in right there. Let's see if I can get that thing zoomed in. So, see the stop right there? So it stops it before it comes down. And so it'll keep the screw off the windshield and everything. Right there for the hydraulics, so the windshield's protected. That's fantastic. I like that. Yeah, it looks like that's gonna be our hydraulic tank right there. Probably our fill location right there. We got our pressure bypass. Lighting board is right on the bottom. And of course we got our electronics, our power board, our power connectors all right here. ASC. So yeah, it's tight and compact in there. But let's close that door. Oh, I like this a lot. Great detail on this. On hard surfaces, I don't expect to have a lot of traction. Of course, your wheel loader is going to have much more traction on hard surfaces. So we'll see how it does on some of my ramps and everything, but I'm looking forward to it on the dirt. I wanted the 360-degree turn, the tank turn. So kind of excited about that. Because I'm hoping to use this in just tighter locations where it's really hard to get the articulating loader, the 480, in and out. All right, so that opens up, but I got to get, oh, there we go. Push that down out of the way. Nice. Door open up there. I like that fan. It looks like that's an operating fan also, which is even better. So I don't have to install one. It's already there. Not a huge fan, but let's see. There it is. You can see it. And it looks like it'll probably move a pretty decent amount of air. Keep the electronics and everything cooled down in there. Of course, I'll need to change out my XT connector and put one of my IC3s on there for my battery. But man, it looks like I might be able to get maybe a 3S 2200 in there. I believe this one runs on 3S. I'll have to verify. Yeah, boy, look at that nice stack. That looks metal. Yeah, no plastic 3D printed stack there. That one's metal. I like that. So, yeah, cool. Very nice. So far, first impressions, much better even than the DXR2. Better details. And again, it's got the clip right down here. It's a metal clip. And so our cab will just push down and lock in place. So it's a little loose if you were to grab it by the cab, but I don't think we'll see any bouncing or anything, because it's pretty heavy. So I can't wait to see the lights and everything on this. So we'll get a little bit more detail on it when I get it put together here, and maybe I'll show you guys that too. So let's get a weight on this thing. All right, so let's get a dry weight on this thing. No oil, no battery, straight out of the box. Let's see. Might need to put my pin in there. Hold that up. It's going to add a little bit of weight. It's resting that bucket. Let's go ahead and get this on so we can get a good weight. Let's take that one screw out. Slide that up. Okay, so just kind of, that pin, it just kind of locks into place, so it slides in here, slides up there, and then screws in place. Slide that out. That little pole. Screw back in. Slide the other one back in place and lock it in. Slides down on the groove. Find the hole, get it in the hole. I want to watch those. Make sure they don't come loose. Might have to get this thing fired up before we get a weight on it. Because it's just going to hang there. But I got an idea. We can get our weight. Alright, let's get some altitude. Okay, and so you see I'm going to hit the tear on it. We're at 0. Still at 0. Okay, there we go. Everything's up off the ground. Looks like we're sitting at 31 pounds, 6 ounces. It's a little heavier than I expected that thing to be. So that's a little over 14 kilos. 14 kilos, 230 grams. So, yeah, so almost 31.5 pounds dry weight. That's awesome. No oil or anything. Once we get the battery in there and the oil, we'll probably be sitting at 32 pounds. So it's not a super light machine. I think we're 45 pounds on the WA480. So that's great. That should have enough weight to muscle some stuff around. All right, so first things first, I like to change out my connectors. So we'll just cut the XT connector off of here. Again, XT is a good connector, but my standard is the IC connector, so that's why I keep everything the same. I'm not going to worry too much about the heat shrink. It's got the nice glue on it. Just make sure I put my connector cover on first. let's go ahead and pull those off of there. Okay, get our wires through. Get a little wire stripped off of there. Go ahead and clean that one up a little bit. That should be good. Okay. All right. We'll put some flux on. We'll tin our wire up a little bit first. Okay. A little solder in our connector. All right, move that in. Grab our wire with our pliers, that'll get hot fast. Let's grab a little extra solder on our soldering iron. Both up, get that wire pushed in. Alright. Inspect our connection there. It's a good solder joint there. No whiskers. So we'll flip this dude around. Okay, we'll do the same thing. Get a little flux on here. A little flux on here. And the flux just helps the joint so much. You don't get a cold solder joint. Get good adhesion. All right. Little there, little there. Put a little bit on our tip. Okay, grab our wire. Let's get that moved in. Okay, we'll inspect that one. Get some of that flux off. That looks pretty good. Okay, those connections look good, so we'll snap our cover on. We're set. All right, so the electrical connection's done. Next up, we'll add some oil to it. So we'll open this guy up here. Grab some extra light here so you guys can see. All right, so right here we got a cap. I need to pull that cap off. All right, set him right there. Get my oil. I'll just fill this guy up. Calls for 80 milliliters. I got about 65 in here. So I think we're almost full. All right, we are full. That might overfill if I put the cap in there. All right, a little bit. All right. So that's full. I only had 65 milliliters in there, and there's still a little bit left, so probably a little bit of residual in there. We'll see how much it takes if we need to refill it after getting these hydraulic arms, the cylinders filled up. So I'll put that in place, and then we can throw a battery in it. All right, so now our battery connector's done. What you guys don't have to do. Oil's filled. What you have to do, we're connected up front here. So next thing up should be to power this puppy on. So we'll get our radio fired up. Those should go back in the neutral position after you fire it up. All right, we'll open up, and it does fit a 3S 5200, which I was surprised it fit this big a battery. That is wonderful. One thing I noticed, it does put a little pressure on this door. So that might pop open when we're running. We'll see. All right, power on. That fan moves some air. That's nice. Superb. All right. Okay, so this should be our pump. There's no mixing, so I got a lot of work to do with this. I got to get all my mixing done and everything. I'm not going to like the way this thing drives out of the gate here, because right, left, right track, left track. I want to mix those. But let's turn our pump on. Oh, there it is. So that's our we'll get this oil worked through these cylinders. Oh, watch my fingers. Ay-yaw! Get that all the way down. So, not quite enough power to lift this back end up. But give it a hand there. That's how far down it goes. I imagine while I'm ripping, it'll dig in pretty good. Okay, so all right, there's lifting up, down, up, down. Okay, we'll go midway. Get that hydraulic oil worked into these cylinders. Yeah, the controls are not intuitive whatsoever. Stock. At least not for me. So what's nice about being able to customize these radios, you can set them up how you want. Ooh. I would not have any fun controlling this thing the way it is right now. I want to go through and I want to check all my pins, make sure all my screws are secured and everything. So I'll do a run through on that, make sure everything's good. Man, I'm used to my loader. It's gonna drive me nuts. Down, got our bucket. Oh, yeah, I gotta get it set up the same way as my loader's set up. Alright, so that's that. So, woo, I can drive it-ish. Yeah, I think the next step is going to be setting the radio up, because I don't even want to test this thing out until I got the radio set up the way I want it. So we'll run through that and make some programming changes. I want to get the pump set up, so I still have the pump switch, but I'll be able to make everything work without having to switch the pump on, so it's just mixed in there. So I'll show you guys that. Get these tracks set up. Well, I want those on one controller. I want to be able to do my steering, my forward and back and everything on just the one controller, like I did the DXR2. Just make it a lot easier to drive. But I do love tank turning. That'll give me nice tight space maneuverability with this guy. That's kind of what I'm after. So yeah, this is great. So far so good. Let's check some other things out here. I don't know what that switch does. Nothing. Oh, sound. It's only set up on the one drive. Very similar to the DXR2, but it sounds much better than the DXR2. Much louder, better sound quality. I think they must have put a better speaker in this one. Ooh, yeah. Shut down. Okay. So, all right. So there's lights. So it looks like just lights on, lights off. Yep. So let me show you the lights here. Okay, so we got side lights, rear lights, and again they're just either on or off with that switch. On, off. And then we've got front lights right there, on, Pretty good looking lights. I like the grates. Off, on, off. So they look pretty bright. We'll do some night work with them. See how bright they are. You know how I like my night work. So, all right. So that looks good. Got our windshield wiper here. Ooh, it even moves. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, I think we're all set, except for the controller. We'll change settings on that for sure. That's nice. Okay, so I've gotten in here and I've swapped a few wires on channels. So I moved channel 2, which was the right track, over to channel 4. Channel 4, which is the bucket, I moved to channel 1. Channel 1, which was the big arm, I moved over to channel 2. And channel 3 stayed the same, which is the left track. So those are the wiring changes I made. And let me show you what we got so far without any radio programming yet. All right, so my left track is still on my left stick. My right track is on my left stick also, but I have to turn it left and right. So we'll get the programming done on that. Now, as far as the bucket goes, the bucket and the arm, so when I pull back, let's turn the pump on, because I don't have that mixed yet. Pull back, the arm goes up, turn right, and that's dump. Scoop will be left, and then down, forward will put the arm down. So that's intuitive for me. That's the way I like it. That's why I set up my other loader, is to have all the bucket controls and everything over here. It just makes it a lot smoother operation, easier for my simple mind to work. And I got my DXR2 here so I can reference to do some programming, because let me unplug this machine here real quick, show you a few differences. All right, so let's get this screen lit up. All right, so I've already got the DXR2 set up, but as you can see, I've got mixes, see channel 3 and 4 mixing, so that it'll, when I push forward, it'll move forward. When I push back, it'll move backwards. If I go left, it will cause the motors to turn in opposite directions. And that way I can get still get my tank turning in. And so it's real intuitive drive. Putting it on the one stick just makes it so much simpler. So your operation's a lot smoother, at least for me. And then, of course, I've got mixes in here. So channel 5's our pump. So you can see our pump goes on when I move the stick for operating the tilt and the blade up and down. And I'm going to do a similar mix for that on this loader here as well, just mainly just for the boom and the scoop. And that way this will just operate, and I'll just turn the pump switch on to operate this, because I don't think we have enough mixes to do the tracks and get the rake or the ripper to bind to, because we only have 4 mixes, which is the downfall of this radio. And I could put it on a different radio, but I've already got this one, so we'll just do it to this one. And since this isn't used very often, I do it with the dozer as well, the DXR2, where I just flip the pump switch and then just operate the ripper on it. So anyway, so we'll go ahead and we'll run through some of the programming on here and get those mixes set up. Okay, so we're going to get in here and start doing our mixes, and I'm just going to copy off of my DXR2 radio that I already have set up. It'll make it a lot easier. So we'll turn mix 1 on, okay, and we want channel 3, and the slave to be 4, okay, 0% offset, and then we want to go negative 100, and on the positive we want to go also negative 100. Okay, so mix 1 on channels 3 and 4, 0% offset, and then negative 100 on the negative and negative 100 on the positive. Okay, now I'll go see what number 2 is. Okay, so we'll go to mix number 2. Check that. We will turn that one on, and again we want channel 4 now as our master, and channel 3 as our slave. Okay, so we're 4, 3, no offset, and now we're going to go positive 100 and positive 100. Okay, so mix 2 on, 4 is the master, 3 is the slave, and we're at on the negative we're at a positive 100, and on the positive we're at a positive 100. Okay, so then we'll go to mix number 3. All right, mix number 3. Turn it on. Okay, we want our master channel 2. Let's see, hold on. Let's put the slave at channel 5 first. Now we can go to channel 2. Okay, offset 20%. We'll go ahead and start there. That's a positive 20%. So things may be a little bit different, but we'll adjust as needed once we get everything. So we'll go negative 100. All right, negative 100 and positive 100. All right, so negative 100, positive 100. So channel mix number 3 is on. Channel 2 is our master. Channel 5 is the slave, which is the pump. We'll go with the 20% offset, and then negative 100, positive 100. We'll see how that works. Next, we'll go to 4. And this is our last mix that we have. I wish there was more mixes on this radio. It's a fantastic radio. All right, so we'll go to 4. Turn it on. Okay, channel 1's our master. We want our slave to be channel 5. Okay, so channel 5 is our slave. We'll go with the 5. 5% offset on that. And then we go negative 100 and positive 100. Okay, So mix 4 on channel 1, channel 5 is a slave, 5% offset, negative 100 on the negative, and positive is positive 100. Okay, and that's all the mixes that we've got. Okay, so we'll go back here. All right, so now we get to plug it in, try it out, and see what works and what doesn't work. Okay. Let's see. Let's get a view. There we go. Okay. Oh, there we look at that. Nice. So the pump just operates when I'm working the stick. Looks like I need to do some changes to the tracks because we're running opposite directions. Okay. So and that all just depends on how the ESCs, everything was set up as far as the motor direction, everything else goes. So that's pretty simple. So we'll go back in here to our mixes. Okay. So let's see. Let's go. Let's take a look at what's happening here in our channels first. So as we push forward, they're going the same direction. And we would need them to go the opposite direction. So we could just probably reverse channel 4. Yeah, let's reverse channel 4. I didn't look at that to see what was reversed. So reverse, channel 4 is already in reverse. So we'll put it in normal. Ah, very nice. Okay. Let's put our battery in here. Get it out of the way. Okay. Woo. Here we go. All right, forward. Backward. Let's bring our, so we'll flip the pump on. Okay. Get those up a little bit off the ground. Okay. Tank turn it, bring it back. Tank turn it. Backwards. So you get full mobility out of this thing. It's just like driving with 2 sticks, but you're not having to drive with 2 sticks. You know, you can do light turns in either direction, it don't matter. And if you want to do a tank turn, you just flip it around and both of them are doing their thing. So I guess the only thing you don't get is you don't get where you could just run one track without the other one. That's the only thing that you lose out on, which I don't find is a hindrance or a handicap on this at all. Very nice. Just makes driving these things and operating them so much better. Yeah, I like that. Much better. Much better. It's already making me happy. Seems to have a pretty good reach as far as the bucket height goes. We'll see how it does for loading. Once you get dumped, it's not real high, so we'll definitely have to be building ramps to load the trucks. Not a problem. I might want to get just a little bit more pump action when I'm raising and lowering. So let's see where we're at here on channel 5. Yeah, so I might make a few more adjustments just to get a little bit more pump speed when I'm raising and lowering. But I like it, it's controllable. We'll see how much power it has. If I need more power, then I'll definitely make that adjustment to get that pump speed up. But other than that, I think she's ready for some trials.